The Nissan Ariya electric crossover should be coming fairly soon here after a few delays. Is the wait worth it? We'll find out, but we have official pricing today, so let's get into it. So if you're wondering where I'm at, I'm in my friend's bathroom. We're staying at her condo, me, my wife, the girls, during Hurricane Ian. It's a much safer place. It's on the second floor, and we're several miles away from my house. My house is right next to the coast. Hopefully the storm surge stays out of my house. I won't know for a few more days, but let's talk about the Ariya electric crossover. Starts at $43,190. That's before destination of $1,295. And there are 6 grade levels. Before we didn't have that. Before we had knowledge of maybe 4 different grade levels. So Nissan's done a great job here fleshing out the lineup. We have 2 different battery packs. We also have different options of all-wheel drive. Previously, we only had all-wheel drive as an option in the top-of-the-line package, and that did not sit well with me. And apparently, Nissan figured it out that that's not okay to only offer the E-Force all-wheel drive system on the top grade. So what we're going to do is actually compare prices, the official prices versus the reservation prices from November of 2021. Here we are in September of 2022. Just want to compare these prices. These are all pre-destination. So if we look at the Venture Plus front wheel drive, originally $45,950, and then we go to the Venture Plus front wheel drive, yes, it has gone up. Now, Nissan is honoring those reservations who reserved the Ariya at these original MSRP prices. So we're looking at increases of roughly $1,200 versus the reservation. But it is good to see that we're getting all of these additional E-Force options. Previously, the Platinum was the only E-Force option. And we'll talk about how that powertrain and these prices stack up to the competition right now. Pulling up the spreadsheet here, and what I actually did today is I took out all of the tax incentives, all the tax credits out of all these equations because it's a huge up in the air issue right now. So I'm assuming none of these vehicles are going to get those tax incentives. So here I've added the Ariya front wheel drive with the smaller battery pack. It's got 63 kilowatt hour battery pack, 238 horsepower. I'm expecting 0 to 60 under 7 seconds. And we do have official range on this now, 216 miles for this entry level. And this includes the MSRP. So comparing across the board here, I think the Mach-E standard range is going to be maybe a better option here. You're going to get more range, more power and torque versus that base Ariya. So moving down to the range tier here with the Ariya front wheel drive, same motor as the base model that we just talked about, but this is going to get you the big battery pack, 87 kilowatt hours of usable battery, over 300 miles of range. So this is official EPA range now, 304 miles. The E-Force models, Nissan said are going to be available early 2023. I'm assuming the front wheel drive models will be available by the end of this year, maybe November, December timeframe. Starting price for that front wheel drive long range Ariya is $48K. And it looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie. It looks pretty good versus the competition where it's priced. I would say its biggest competition here is going to be that single motor rear wheel drive Ioniq 5. That gives you a little bit more torque. It will give you similar acceleration, but that battery pack also gives you comparable range, although it is smaller. And those Hyundais charge a lot quicker than what we see on the Ariya. So they have that advantage with the 800 volt system, no doubt. Now we're going to the fast tier here. So we know that you can get this E-Force setup now, not in the top of the grade Platinum trim. You can get on the lower trim levels of the Ariya lineup, and that brings that full 389 horsepower and 442 pound-feet of torque in for about $52K. And it looks superior in terms of acceleration in theory to the Ioniq 5 and EV6. It looks like it's comparable to the Model Y long range in terms of power. I don't know the EPA range, and that's something Nissan hasn't communicated yet. We're still waiting on the official range of their all-wheel drive models. So I think this entry-level E-Force does compare very, very well with this segment. And overall, I think the Ariya does compete pretty darn well. I would say the biggest drawbacks are going to be its so charging rate at 130 kilowatts. But the thing is, luckily it's now a DC CCS fast charging, where the Leaf is CHAdeMO, which I don't think anyone uses CHAdeMO. It's an outdated charging technology. So, but it's good to see Nissan really fleshing out their product stack with the Ariya here stateside. Instead of offering 4, we now have a ton of different grades, as well as front wheel drive, all wheel drive, 2 different battery packs. So it is good to see, and it tops out at around 60K, which is comparable to where let's say the EV6 GT tops out around 58K, and the Ioniq 5 tops out around there as well. So comparable on price and power, just waiting for that official range. But we're going to switch gears. Nissan has revealed their GT4 race car of the Z. And I haven't seen this video yet, so I thought I would play it for you guys and we enjoy it together. Looks pretty sick. I mean, the new Z already looks incredible. So, I mean, this is a race car. You can see the roll cage in there. This is probably a vehicle that you're going to see in Gran Turismo, Forza. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. This is, of course, a digital render here. Anyways, that's about all excited I'm going to get for the GT4 Nissan Z. It's pretty cool. We do have some Infiniti news. QX50 comes with a new grade. Now the base price goes up about $2,000 or something, and there's a new sport grade starting at $40,000, and that's of course before destination. And so the sport model has a unique front fascia, 20-inch dark painted wheels, and gloss black exterior trim. The QX50 Sport also treats buyers of semi-aniline leather appointed seating and a Bose premium audio with 12 speakers. And speaking of Bose, the Ariya top of the line Platinum, the only way you can get the Bose 10 speaker, I think it's a 10 speaker system, is spending the top grade money. So you're left with an entry level sound system on the rest of the Ariyas, which is pretty disappointing. But it might be an option. Might be an option. I'm not going to go that far into the Ariya options today. QX50 though gets some nice up. I mean, this sport grade is the model to buy in my opinion, and we have pricing for that sport. If you want all-wheel drive with it, it's going to come in at a little over 50 grand. Which is $2,000 more than the front wheel drive model. It's so crazy. The QX50, if you want the autograph, gets you over 57,000 before MSR, before a destination, which is just crazy. So we're going to continue on here. This is happening in Europe right now. We still have 0 Nissan hybrids in America. Instead, we have the Leaf. I don't know how much longer that's going to be available. And then, of course, the Ariya coming as well. But Nissan is electrifying their other powertrains over in Europe. The Qashqai e-Power and the Juke Hybrid go into production. So e-Power is Nissan's series hybrid system, where the Juke Hybrid is, I think it's sharing a hybrid system from Renault. And there's also a new 10 million pound battery assembly facility now online that helps bring on, of course, the capacity for these hybrids. These vehicles are not available in America. We used to have the Juke, and then we have the Nissan Rogue Sport, which is the same thing. It's a Qashqai, but I don't think that Nissan is going to bring the new Qashqai here stateside. But we're switching gears. So this came out of left field. I wasn't expecting anything from Polestar, but I figured since we're talking about electrified vehicles, Polestar 3 premieres on October 12th. I won't be able to bring it to you guys on a live stream or anything like that. I will be probably traveling to Santa Barbara, California to drive the new CR-V hybrid at that time. So let's talk about the Polestar 3 launching October 12th. And we got some interesting information here. So we know Polestar is kind of the performance subdivision of Volvo. They're their own brand, I know, but they share a lot with Volvo. And they're kind of spun off from Volvo. So at launch, all versions of the Polestar 3 feature a rear biased dual motor. So they're all-wheel drive, but most of the power is coming to those rear wheels. And they have electric torque vectoring via a dual clutch system on the rear electric motor. This is met by adaptive dual chamber air suspension and active dampers as standard, which allows Polestar 3 to switch between comfort and firm suspension dynamics and adjust the dampers to suit road conditions once every 2 milliseconds. So that being standard means that this thing is going to come in at a high price. 70, 80K starting would be my guess minimum. And they're saying that the optional performance pack enables a maximum of 380 kilowatts and 910 newton meters of torque, and gives you Polestar engineered chassis tuning and active dampers and air suspension. Polestar signature Swedish gold details are also added, including valve caps, seat belts, and laser etched interior light strip. Pretty excited for the Polestar 3, and I'm going to switch over to the spreadsheet once again. I added the Polestar 3. I don't have all the official details. I think it's going to be a 100 kilowatt hour battery, but that's just a guess. I think at this point, I think we'll see 300 plus miles of range. Starting price, well, let's just put 75,000 for now. And 0 to 60 with 509 horsepower and 671 horsepower, or 671 pound-feet of torque. It might be able to crack 4 seconds. So I'm just going to put 4 here to be a little bit conservative, but this thing lines up very well with the BMW iX in terms of power and acceleration, probably range as well. And it might be able to undercut the BMW iX in terms of MSRP. We look at the Cadillac Lyriq. When it gets the all-wheel drive setup, it'll have 500 horse, and this will be the same thing as the Acura ZDX Type S. So that'll be interesting to see it compete against the Polestar 3, but it might come in at a lower price is what I'm guessing. And actually, Cadillac has confirmed that the price will be 67K starting at the all-wheel drive setup. We also have the Lexus RZ 450e, which we don't know when we're going to be getting it based off of the disruptions going on with that Motomachi plant, as well as the wheels falling off of the BZ4X and Subaru Solterra platform mates to this RZ. And it won't be anywhere as quick as some of the models we mentioned earlier, but I think it might line up fairly well with the Lyriq. But I think it's going to be a lot smaller than the Lyriq. So anyways, I'm going to end it there, guys. A lot of news to talk about today, mostly with the Nissan Ariya. Do you think Nissan has a shot with the Ariya to compete? I think so. I think there's a huge demand for electric cars right now, and I don't think the market is able to satiate that demand. And that's true for every single car, really, with the market we're in right now, as everything seems to be in low supply and high demand. And electric cars are very expensive, and the Ariya starting at, I think we said 44K today. It's not a cheap car, but it looks like it's going to be price competitive and specs competitive outside of that DC slow charging. And time will tell with the charge rates and things like that, how competitive it is when it comes to the charging. It's easy to see on paper that it's kind of in the average range, and it can't touch the Ioniq 5 eGMP platform that Hyundai and Kia use. But anyways, I'm going to end it there. I hope you guys are safe wherever you're at, and just got to hunker down, edit it through this video, and hopefully I can get it out to you guys before the power goes out, and hopefully it doesn't go out at all. It's been flickering a little bit, but anyways, I got to get going. Thank you guys for all your support. Thank you for all the prayers and thoughts you guys are sending my way. The family really appreciates it. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.